We are live. What is up, everybody? It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles, and it is Thursday, January 19th, 2023 AD. I'm just checking my feed, making sure that the Odyssey audio is indeed working, and it is. I'm live on various platforms. We're going to have a fun loosey-goosey Thursday show, I think, guys. Have some clips to play, have some news to cover. Perhaps unimportant news, but whatever. Your calls to get to, you can call in. There was a lot of people I wasn't able to get to. A lot of you guys called in kind of towards the end of the show. Call in earlier. But anyway, woman leaders stepping down. Did you hear, by the way, did you hear that Alec Baldwin is charged? I heard that he's charged with 2 counts of two? How is 2? Did he kill 2 people? I know that, anyway, I don't know. But Alec Baldwin, the actor, he accidentally, and I think it was accidentally, shot a woman with a prop gun. Why aren't they charging the person who was in charge of the props? That young lady. What a mess. Transgender mess in this Minnesota House of Representatives. Minnesota? Is that where Derek Chauvin is from? I think so. It's ridiculous. Former officer Derek Chauvin. Pray for Derek Chauvin. Pray for the persecuted whites who are in jail unjustly, in my opinion. Unjustly, honestly, as a matter of fact. It's a fact. You know, I have an old clip that I may show to you guys. Racism from a white who's for segregation in Buffalo, New York, I guess. I guess there was years back. There must have been this fire or arson, and the guy's like, this type of thing wouldn't happen if everybody kept to themselves, each race. Well, isn't that interesting? And in NorCal, they may give reparations. Shaking my head. But anyway, guys, all that and your calls, if you would like to call in, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. By the way, I recorded a Substack video slash Subscribestar video slash Locals video. I'm on all the platforms. It is obnoxious to me. You guys can take your pick. I think my preferred is, at this point, is Substack, but most of you guys who are supporting on Subscribestar, and I understand it because I started Subscribestar first, parallel with my Patreon. My Patreon got banned, but I haven't put it up yet. I'll put it up. I recorded it yesterday afternoon under the beautiful blue sky. Yes, blue sky, t-shirt weather here in Los Angeles. Wearing my orange, which was polyester, and I didn't realize it, part polyester, solid color wolf t-shirt. I'm calling it wolf, but it's probably fox or something. You know what? I think we better close the door because I'm hearing noise, and that noise is probably bleeding in. Thanks, man. Hassan, helping me out big time. These people talking all loud outside. Quiet down there in the peanut gallery. Did you know that the peanut gallery is a racist?
I'm leaving now.
Oh, JLP's leaving now. We can open the door. Good. So the hot air doesn't heat us up and make us all humid and stuffy in here. Hot air out of Hake's mouth. I am wearing another, probably it has polyester in it too, t-shirt. This one is brown. Yes, right. That's right. I called it brown. I didn't call it orangish or or greenish because it's just straight brown. I don't know. I may have to disavow this T-shirt because it has a buffalo or bison on it, and it's about national parks, and that's communism, right? Communism, national parks. Maybe it's just nationalism, though. Was it Teddy Roosevelt? He was the good Roosevelt, right? If there was one. I think Teddy Roosevelt was perhaps a great president, according to my resident historian, our resident historian, Asmodor, over on Odyssey. Oh, man. Crazy. And I will be reading your chats as well. Very informative live chat on the Hake Report on whichever platform you are watching. Pretty much. But let's get right started with this. And I will get to your calls as well. I will get to your calls. Hang tight, callers. You can call in. I'm chuckling at the different stories I have to share with you. I have this tweet screenshot that I want to share with you guys. Grooming kids. Matt XIV, which is what, Matt the 14th? Wow, how is he Matt the 14th? He tweeted out, sarcastically, I gather, drag queens and gay teachers are grooming kids. And he's mocking the libs of TikTok crowd, of which I am part. I enjoy the content of libs of TikTok because that Jewish lady exposes the liberals on TikTok. And the TikTok libs are somewhat entertaining, but really evil and twisted and nasty and blind leaders of the blind. But this Matt XIV person, I think, is part of the LGBT, what they want to pretend is a community. Friendly queer Jew with very long nails. He/they. Matt, MATTXIV. From New York City. Don't harass them. Him. Oh, gosh. And he's sarcastically tweeting that drag queens and gay teachers, quoting, are grooming kids. Because he tweeted out this video a couple of days ago of a father and son, I gather, or a grandpa and grandson or something, practicing their pointing guns and dry firing and pulling out the magazine, which some of you guys call a clip. It's not a clip. And, well, let's watch this 30-something second video, clip 13, of this grooming the child. And a lot of the people in his replies, he might be getting, although he has 327,000 followers, he may be getting slightly, what is that called? Ratioed. When you get more replies, which usually means disagreement, than likes. Maybe he got a lot of likes too, I don't know. But watch or listen to this video, and I shall describe it for the audio podcast listeners. And you tell me if this is bad grooming. This guy's tweeted out other things about grooming, and I've been like, yeah, that's not good either. But this is not a bad one, I don't think. Watch. Little kid, all cute, American flag t-shirt. Racket. Rack the gun.
Magazine.
Awesome.
Drop it.
Boom. Racket.
Dump it.
Dump it.
Magazine.
Magazine.
Drop it.
Drop it. Dump it.
Slow down. Dump it.
Slow down.
Clear it. 1, 2, 3. In the holster. Good job.
That's good training. Looks like good training to me. That kid is not going to, teaching them how to shoot a gun isn't sexual, though, says Jake_N35. Too logical, too manly, Jake. You're banned. I'm just kidding. Don't ban him. I'm totally kidding, mods. Matt XIV is being dumb, says D-subversion. I agree. So it was a father or a grandfather showing his boy proper gun technique, which is also called gun safety. Not gun safety legislation, not to be confused with every town for gun safety, which is an anti-Second Amendment sleaze bag push that Joe from Phoenix can't admit is an assault on the Second Amendment. These sleazy people. Scum of the earth. Flooding America. What a mess. Dang, Hake, don't play like that. As I was watching this, and sometimes Hake likes to put watching because I'm so used to putting the WH sound, but watching has no WH. Hitler Youth says Ned Post, yeah. As I'm watching this, I thought back to that horrific, tragic story/video that I might have seen of these two black kids that were playing at like a birthday party, cousins, and they're playing with a gun. They found one of the fathers or stepfather or somebody's or mother's gun laying around, and they're streaming themselves or on video at the computer or with the phone going on social media, and one of them shoots the other one, I think, in the head by accident and kills the person. Sorry, kids. Or parents, really. Parents sometimes are a little overprotective of the kids because the kids may not be as sensitive without the parents traumatizing them with this overprotective fear, but / protecting them from, the realities and evils of the world, Because that's an evil, an accidental evil / a negligence evil on the part of the parents or whoever's house this was, leaving a gun laying around with untrained kids. Untrained kids, key word. Where the kid shot somebody and then shot a fellow kid, a cousin, and then the kid was so distraught, the kid turned the gun on himself or herself and shot himself or herself. Yeah, murder-suicide. It's the real Mr. Mad. Yeah, that's what it was. Well, it was accidental. I don't know if you can call that that purposeful murder because they were playing with the gun. Untrained play. This kid, I predict, won't do that. And also seems to have a sensible father or person, man, hopefully father, who is teaching them cool-headedness. Slow down. Make sure you're doing it right. Don't be trying to do it all fast. Crazy. Sick. Manslaughter, suicide. Yeah, it's the real Mr. Mad. Yeah. Man, that's like a scar. I'm mentally, emotionally scarred from that story of those. See, I love black people. I'm sad about the black kids. One accidentally killing the other and then killing himself or herself. See? It's terrible. I'm kind of joking around a little bit with it, but crazy. That's a gun. Proper gun control is when you know how to handle the weapon. JLP has talked about as a kid. They had the. I may be making this up. I may be telling a slightly tall tale, but he said, "Oh, they had the rifle on the wall, hanging on the rack." Any kid could have gotten on a chair if they had chairs in that little tin roof house, and grabbed the gun. But they didn't. They had sense. At 15, he got a gun and he shot a squirrel with it. Rightfully shooting the squirrel. Kevin House says, can't even teach your 9-year-old how to smoke some fools anymore. I thought this was America. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. But yeah, this Matt XIV guy called it grooming kids. And there was another one where he actually made kind of a good point, and I forget what it was. But I've covered it, and I kind of agreed with him. But I also agree that it is way evil. One wrong doesn't justify another. Because, you have all these Christians pushing their false Christianity on their imitation of Christianity on the kids, which is better than outright Satanism, I think. Maybe. In many cases. It's crazy, huh? Let me play another clip, guys. Transgender mess in the Minnesota House. Minnesota. Minnesota is where they have that Keith Ellison guy, am I right? Is that Minnesota or is that Missouri? I don't know my geography. Clip 12, this is from Still Gray. Ian Miles Cheong on Twitter. It was shared also by Alpha News Minnesota, Alpha News MN. Males menstruate, apparently. Trust the science. Cover your ears, kids. But this is a female politician who I thought they were calling in as an expert because she has, dyed, reddish, tinged hair. Reminiscent of that, I think she does, reminiscent of that thuggish Boise, Idaho woman who's smearing the whites in Boise, Idaho. She's an outsider doing a job in Boise, Idaho and smearing the whites for saying, being white is great, something like that. Oh, and that's somehow anti-black. Stupid. Anyway, not all students who menstruate are female, says DFL rep. I don't know what DFL stands for. DFL legislators. What is that? Sandra Feist. She's feisty. During a hearing to consider a bill that would provide menstrual products in all school bathrooms, including boys' bathrooms. And she has these nerdy librarian glasses. And she looks like she's probably younger than me. Is she even a she? She looks like she might be a male. It looks like it. I don't know. Anyway, here's the clip, about a minute long. Listen to this.
I would encourage the committee to vote no on this amendment for a few reasons: practical, financial, social, emotional. First, there are a lot of schools that are moving towards gender-neutral bathrooms, and if we add female, we might become obsolete very quickly. Second, not all students who menstruate are female. We need to make sure that all students have access to these products. There are obviously less non-female menstruating students, and therefore their usage will be much lower. And that was actually calculated into the cost of this and how much we decided to fund it. And so we do not expect that the non-female menstruating students will use these products as much as the students using female bathrooms, but it's important to have them there. And that brings me to just the social emotional reasons for that. These students who are not female, who menstruate, face a greater stigma and barrier to asking for these products, and so providing them in an easily accessible place in all student bathrooms is particularly important for those students.
This is so obnoxious. Two! I almost want to call my spittoon a barf bag. Sorry, kids, I don't even like that word. Makes me want to, and I don't ever almost want to throw up. But I want to make a throw up sound. At the sound of this woman's voice, how do you vote for that woman? That thing. You can't even, I didn't even hear her words after a while because she's just spouting off, she's worse than the AI. I'm looking over at Hassan. When I look this way, I'm usually looking over at Hassan. The Arab Christian man. He's mixed. But Arabs they count as white, I think. Did you know that? But anyway, Hassan, do you want to help me out with this story?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by this woman's voice? She's like rattling off buzzwords, intellectual learned language.
Yeah.
And then she has this like Like that gay guy who was reacting to the hockey player on the Jesse Lee Peterson show.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Where you say a word and you go,
Crescendo.
I can't even think of but you guys may know what I mean.
Yeah, it's almost musical.
Yeah. Like later I want to get to Frederick. Whatever.
Yeah.
Girls talk like that and it sounds a little bit natural, although, because I guess you expect girls to be fake. But when a guy talks like that, he's talking like a gay, which is not good. But anyway. And so it's hard to even like take a woman like that seriously. I want my spittoon. I literally had to stand up in the middle of it. Hassan, help me out. React. I don't know.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, yeah, it's crazy how just like this or like that gentleman who was overreacting to the hockey thing, it's like, it's just unbelievable that people want to try to just impose these things, and they think that the way that they articulate it or put these, different volumes of voice is going to maybe convince you to get emotional about it, and maybe that will get you.
Yeah, it's like they talk about it in an intellectual way that's kind of almost irrefutable, I guess, because they're so intellectual that they can rationalize these things. But sometimes somebody with like basic truth, like what Jesse Lee Peterson says, like he'll say something that's so simple and it just steamrolls right through their stuff. He interviewed one lady some years back. Yes, what is a family? Define family. And she's like all wordy and it's like, oh, she's like stumped by the question.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, and then at some point he's like, how about a family as a mother and father with children, with their children?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's the traditional way. But that's just the simple, real thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of breaks through that phoniness of deception that these people do. And you can call this woman evil, but she's so nice that people who are intellectuals or maybe on her side or don't have a clear mind, they'll think, she's not evil, she's nice,
Yeah. So what she's saying must
coming
be,
off as harmless.
Yeah, so like, yeah, this makes sense.
Right. Whereas like the old school communists were like, you're doing this and we're pointing a gun at you and we're going to like murder you guys.
Yeah.
Or the Nazis might have done some stuff with like force, like more manly evil, like manly force. Whereas this womanly corrupt you with your own corruption type of stuff is like, it's more about freedom because you have the freedom to be evil. And then they're encouraging you in that freedom to be evil.
Yeah, they just hand you the rope.
Yeah. And say, this rope is good for you.
Yeah.
Just put it around your neck.
Yeah, exactly.
You can put the rope around your neck and then tighten it and
yeah.
it's natural. Not all people want to live. I don't know.
Yeah, get out of the way. It's too much pollution.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's like they'll bring up all these different factual, intellectual things, and it is like the AI. It's like we really have, in a lot of ways, become the artificial intelligence because we're just basing everything off of Google searches. And,
I know, huh?
And whatever
Yeah,
pulls up.
we have access to all this information. And yet Google is manipulating our results. Like you can't even find JLP's YouTube channel on Google, I bet. Let me do this live. Jesse Lee Peterson YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's funny how people will say like
it does come up now. But
it's like Google can also be wrong.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that like people that I know when they Google stuff about them, it's not true.
I know, huh?
So it's like, but people will say, if it's on Google, it's fact.
Right.
And it's like Google's become God for people. And it's like, actually, most of it probably is just an opinion.
Yeah.
Or some calculated, jump.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Some cherry-picked fact to deceive people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true. Facts are not truth. It's facts versus truth many times. And then there's like Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder. Fact. But it's with an asterisk because, one, it was like a kangaroo court. I'm going to get to that. But two, it was under great political pressure. And three, like their definition of murder in Minnesota is like weird. He didn't have any, like there's no evidence if he had. Murder usually means with malice aforethought. With the definition of murder. Because killing is not necessarily murder. Thou shalt not kill was translated thou shalt not murder in the Bible. Oh, Derek Chauvin is a murderer. No, no, he's not. So there's all of this facts. People lie with facts a lot. Oh, blacks are 4 times as likely to die at the hands of police. They're also 4 times as likely to kill police. Or 4 times as likely or 3 or 4 times as likely to be felons. And all kinds of alternative facts that give you the broader big picture of what's going on. And those are just symptoms. Truth is anger. It's the parents messing up the kids. It's the society lying, everybody coddling the blacks in their lies. And that's what they're doing to the LGBT people, is they're coddling them as victims and validating their delusions. That's grooming kids, because they're talking about schools, like boys' bathrooms. How do you need menstrual? I don't know. I guess girls start to menstruate at a pretty young age sometimes, especially with a lack of fathers around. They go through puberty early.
Really?
Yeah. That's something I learned. There is a book called Do Fathers Matter? JLP interviewed this guy who's like a liberal, sort of a liberal, I think, a researcher. And one of the things about fathers is if fathers are not around, the girls go through puberty earlier, according to like the studies, the statistics. And they've taken the fathers away. I guess, maybe that's why black girls are so active younger. And they're like, their body knows that it needs a man because the father's not around to protect her. I don't know. That's my speculation. But it's sick.
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. But that woman is so annoying.
Yeah.
And shame on me, I guess, for hating her, right? But
No,
it's also not judgment to want to spit, I don't think. It's just a natural reaction.
Yeah, and it's again, not to keep going back to the guy who overreacted to the hockey thing, but it is so similar. It's like, if people want to do things, then okay, whatever. But to try to impose it onto everybody, and then when one person stands up and says, "Hey, I don't want to," you could do it. It's fine, but I don't want to partake. I don't want to participate. It's just crazy that we've gotten to that place. It's unbelievable.
Because the female version of evil is like this soft evil seems, what's the harm that people think stuff like that. And then they're educated, meaning indoctrinated. And so half the country or more seems to like accept it on some level. Oh no, like the gays go against the trans, but the gays already have their problems that they've accepted. And then the people who are not the gays, they're having sex out of wedlock or they're into the pornography. And so we're already accepting evil and we just draw the line at, pedophilia. We don't support that. That's the only evil anymore.
And not even anymore.
I know, yeah.
Now they're starting to pull up tests saying that.
Oh, it's just maps. They're just minor attracted persons.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as they don't act on it. Well, yeah, that's true, but that's not the whole truth. The whole truth is this sexualization stuff is a perversion. Even like the male to female stuff, so much of that is perversion. And they're pushing it on kids, and that's sick. And they're pushing it on society. People think that, America's so Puritan. Whereas in Europe, they're so blasé about nudity and sex and stuff. And they think that that's better. And maybe being overly Puritan, if you will, is maybe not a good thing. Like it's a woman's way of protecting, being overprotective of the kids. But you don't go the opposite extreme.
Right.
Because the other way is the woman's way of being, oh, let it all hang out. So, and that's what that woman was doing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah.
I'm shaking my head. Minnesota. Who voted for this woman?
They seem to have a lot of wild things. That's where that Ilhan Omar lady's at too, I believe, right? Or somewhere close to
I
there.
think so. I think she's from Minnesota. And they have that, and she's Muslim,
Yeah.
a liberal Muslim. Most Muslims are liberals.
Yeah.
Most Jewish people are liberals. It's only the Christians who are, and maybe not even them anymore, are mostly conservative. The Christians and the whites and the men are disproportionately conservative, and surprise, those are the ones who are most under attack. And anybody who speaks some sense, who is a POC or a woman or whatever, if they speak something that's too logical, they're under attack. Terrible. But yeah, you're right. Keith Ellison, another Muslim guy, who's a liberal SJW, Antifa supporting Muslim. He's the attorney general or whatever the top law enforcement person is in Minnesota, I think.
Wow.
And he was in the courtroom with Derek Chauvin. The whole time in the courtroom. He's the one who should be on trial, I think.
Yeah.
For what? I don't know. For being... He swore his oath on the Quran, not on the
Really?
Bible. Yeah.
Which guy?
Keith Ellison, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
I think he said he did that.
And he's the what of Minneapolis? Or
Attorney General of Minnesota.
of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Wow.
He used to be a representative in the House of Representatives. So Minnesota, you're like, is that Midwest? That's the Midwest. You think of Midwest as being wholesome. You think of the South as being Christian and solid, and even the blacks and the whites are both like more sensible down there.
Yeah. And I've been there. It seems like a lot of sensible people.
There are. I think there are.
But unfortunately, I mean, they also had as a governor Jesse Ventura, who is...
Oh, yeah, Jesse Ventura, what was he?
He was governor of Minnesota, I believe. And he's,
You're right.
he's completely got some, wild
Yeah, he is wild.
Wild take.
He has some aspects about him that I like.
Me too. He's entertaining.
Right. He's entertaining and he's pro-gun, I think. He's a bit of a conspiracy theorist, which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But he's definitely said some things about Trump and some other things that I definitely
He turned
don't
into
agree
a
with.
phony politician.
Which is so funny because he was originally like really good friends with Trump.
Right.
And Trump went to see him because he won being governor as an independent, I believe.
I think you're right.
And I think Trump was like inspired by that and went to go see him.
Jeez.
And like they were friends because he used to wrestle in Trump Towers. Like
Oh, wow.
they used to do whatever, like those wrestling events.
Yeah.
And
WWF.
yeah.
World Wrestling Foundation.
But he completely turned on him, yeah.
Yeah. He turned into... Now it's WWF is Worldwide Fund for Nature. So they changed it to WWE, but I still call it WWF because I'm almost Gen X. But yeah, Jesse the Body Ventura, 71 years old, 6'4". Now he's part of the Green Party of Alaska. Whoa. Green Party of Alaska. He turned into a communist.
Yeah.
He was governor with the Reform Party. The Reform Party those were decent people, I thought. Pat Buchanan, was he Reform Party? I don't know. Former White House communications director. It doesn't say offhand. But, yeah, Minnesota.
Mess.
Yeah, I guess it's everywhere. All over the world, there's always been insanity, and it seems to be worse now and more out in the open. I think because we've put women in charge of voting, leading businesses. Even the Christians who believe in patriarchy are catering to the women in whether they know it or not. And with women are unreliable. And so, like, they come up with these cockamamie ideas. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I like that word. And they're not reliable, so, like, the government's less reliable than ever. The FBI is not. And the FBI was maybe always corrupt and evil, but because men are always evil, too. But with the women, it's, like, off the deep end even worse. And then there's a lower standard, so the men don't even live up to any form of standard either. It's terrible. So we have to listen to this woman that you couldn't even tell that she was a woman with a screenshot. What a mess. Anything else, Hassan?
I mean, that's it. You covered it.
Yeah, we squeezed everything out of that one. For some reason, I just wanted to take it slow with this one.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Hassan. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank you.
I have super chats to read, guys. Calls to get to. It is past 36. It's like 37. 9:37 my time. Okay. Let me get to Josh and George. It's been on hold for some time. Josh, how are you doing, man? Appreciate you calling and holding.
I'm doing well, man. No problem. How you?
Doing fine, thank you.
All's well.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was calling about the that principle you and Joel were talking about of neither reject or deny.
Oh,
or
not like a
accept.
school principle, but a live by principle of
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
neither reject nor accept. That's
Yeah.
something
Did Joel say
JLP
he's
said.
going to make that his bio or something?
Yeah, he's going to put it in his IG
Twitter
bio.
bio?
Joel
IG
Friday
bio.
TV. Joel Friday TV on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just realized, that's what you do with the thoughts that pop up in your head, the same thing, really. And it reminded me of that, you remember that internet phenomenon where there was just that black and blue dress? Some people saw it as black and blue, and some people saw it as white and gold,
Oh,
like a long time ago.
it sounds
Right.
familiar. There's been different illusions or whatever they call those.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
There's
I don't know. It's like,
There's an
Okay.
audio thing that says Yandex or something like that, but it also sounds like saying a name or something. And you hear different
Yeah.
things depending on how you're listening. Yeah.
yeah, and I hear that in music too, like music lyrics. Some people hear
Oh,
hear
right.
different.
They mishear the
things,
words.
So
Yep.
yeah, and it's like I think like arguing is like it's like that ego of wanting to know that you're right and that person is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let
but-
me explain to the people who may not be up on
Right.
that. This was Joel Friday and I on Tuesday were talking about, for example, the people who are asserting that this or that person died from the vaxx, or that the vaxx is definitely causing all these heart attacks and things, which it may be in some cases. I think it's been confirmed that in at least rare cases it is. It's been associated. It's been proven. But they're saying stuff, they're going outside of what they know, or they may know what they're saying, but they're not providing proof. They're just asserting something. And Joel was saying, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying provide proof. And then we talked about intellectual versus intelligent. And an intellectual accepts and rejects ideas, whereas the intelligent mind neither accepts nor rejects ideas, which is something that I heard JLP say at least once, probably a few times. Because you don't want to go with what you hear or what you think. Like what you said, you treat the thoughts the same way. You don't go against the thought. You just don't go with it. And you don't go,
Right.
you don't go against it or with it.
Yeah, it could be both. It could, like, the vax thing could be both. You know, it could be. It's not always one or the other. You know.
What do you mean? With
It's
the
like
vax,
something
for example.
like maybe the vax is good for some people.
Right.
Maybe it's bad for other people.
Yeah.
So it's not just completely bad for everybody or completely good for everybody.
Yep.
Right. But
That's why.
it's like the tribal nature in us that wants to pick a side, and that's the right side, and I want to fight whoever doesn't agree. Right.
Yeah. And that's why people are turning on Trump is over this vax, by and large, or for other things too.
Right.
But
He
Trump
took
was
the
never.
vax, didn't he?
Trump was,
Didn't Trump take the vax?
according to him, yeah. And
Yeah, he
I would
said he
think
did,
that he
right.
would have. He's a boomer. A lot of boomers are doing it. Everyone
Okay.
I know who took it, for one thing, I could not have convinced them not to, and for another, I wouldn't have tried. They want to take
Right.
it. That's on them. I don't know much about it, and so like that's their business whether they want to take it or not. And yeah, I've heard of some horror stories, and some of them I imagine are probably true. Some of them might not be. But
Right.
a lot of people took
Yeah.
it and it had no obvious effect. I would be surprised if it was purposely designed to hurt people. Doesn't even make any sense. Although, the world is evil, so you can't put anything. You can't even really
Right.
reject even that idea. Just don't go with it, though. But people go with gossip. Grown men go with gossip and want to ask about gossip. It's like ridiculous. Back in the olden days, like you don't go with rumors. You don't believe what you hear or see even, because your mind lies to you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's like, I have to watch myself in the chat, because like, it's when you read the chat, it's like something will stick with you, or you'll I even do it myself, like I go in the chat, I just try to like, it's like locker room talk to me, which is probably a bad,
maybe,
just want to grab them by the pajamas, or what, like, you just want to say something that's make everybody laugh.
Right. And
that's
it's all
probably
ego.
a bad habit, because it's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. But one more thing. Also, with the lady, I mean, hitting a woman or not, in that video you played yesterday.
Yeah.
Whether the guy should have hit her or not.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say I think he should have bear hugged her. Like they call that. I've had a girl trying to hit me one time, and that's what I did.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of worked. You just she tried to knee me in the crotch after I bear hugged her.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to go to the side a little bit, like how they do in MMA.
Right.
And I think they call that like the clinch. Get all the really up
The
on you,
clinch?
and then they
Yeah.
can't hit you.
Right.
Yeah, the clinch or something like that. Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, that's what I would do if but there is a time to hit a woman,
For sure there's
I think
a time.
it's very, very rare, I guess.
It's becoming less and less rare because the women are so out of control.
Because, yeah.
But it is true that the world is going to come against you, and so you got to weigh whether it's worth it. It's kind of like a white cop. Does he really want to deal with the way the black is asking to be dealt with? Because the world is going to come down hard on you. Look at Derek Chauvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wouldn't even be a cop now, especially if I was white. But we do need cops, though. But
yeah,
I almost don't think it's worth it to even be one.
If you get in a situation where a woman is hitting you, it may be your fault that you let it get to that point. You shouldn't have even had anything to do with that woman long before she ever thought to even hit you. And if she thinks that she might hit you and actually takes a swing, that's perhaps a spiritual weakness on your part. That's like you're giving out the hit me vibes of weakness, and You know how,
I've been that guy.
yeah, we talk
Right.
about how whites are weak with blacks and it's inviting attacks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's how women are with men. Yeah.
yep. Same thing with the men and the women. The Christians
Yep.
and the LGBT and whoever else are anti-Christian.
Right.
Terrible.
Same thing. But okay, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for-
Appreciate it. Josh in Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Nice. Let me get to Frederick in California before he has to hang up. Frederick in California, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, Hank?
Going well. How about you?
All right, all right. I wanted to call in and talk about the state of America.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is like the, you know how Babylon must fall?
Mm.
How they was doing all the gay stuff and they destroyed the Tower of Babylon.
You may be mixing up stories, man. The Tower of Babel is not necessarily Babylon, but I don't know. Maybe it is. You know, you may know more than I do, but you are black.
Yeah, anyway,
Go ahead.
our system is set up. If you look at it, it goes all the way back to when the Anglo-Saxons set up the rules under King Alfred's law. You know who King Alfred is, right?
No, King Alfred. I do not.
Ah.
But the
He's the
Anglo-Saxons
one
set
that
up those rules, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
Back in the 600s, he implemented the Ten Commandments to be law, and it was all predicated under white supremacy.
Nice.
And the statues of, yeah, I know, right?
So the Ten Commandments
statue of
were
Marlborough.
the Ten Commandments were predicated on white supremacy.
No, he added that into the law then, but
That
the,
just means
laws
whites are
that-
running their own. Whites running their own communities. Is that what you mean by white supremacy? Like,
Yes, that's,
is that what you mean?
yeah.
Why are
The
you calling
statue
that
of
white
Marlborough is
supremacy?
Still in place.
Do you think white supremacy is a bad thing? I'm kind of curious by your use of that.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's, to each its own. You know what I'm saying?
Has white supremacy been good for the blacks?
No, that's why I
No?
was calling in. I'm thinking it's almost like it's a they call it what I call it.
How about white decline? Because we're in a period since probably the Civil War, the so-called Civil War, of white decline. Has that been good for the blacks? Even though
You're in
we've made
Stockholm
advances.
Syndrome.
Huh?
You're in Stockholm Syndrome.
Who is?
America.
By America, you mean the whites in America or who in
Whites
America?
and blacks. I mean, the system was set up for socialism to take care of the weak and the dependent a long time ago. That was Alfred's law, King Alfred.
King
So
Alfred
with
was
that
for taking
socialist-
care of the weak and the dependent?
Yeah.
Really? And
the power is to be centralized, and then their plan was to have socialism, and everybody to be their slave. I'm coming up with
Stockholm
this,
Syndrome.
Shabbat
Hold
Goy.
on, man. Let me slow you down.
Okay, go ahead.
Stockholm Syndrome is when you're abused,
You fall in
and then
love
you
with your
start to love your abuser with a
Yeah, and
with a
that's them
twisted
people
love.
saying, "I love America."
America has
patriot.
abused the whites and blacks in America, and yet we love
Turn them against each
our
other.
abusers.
Yeah, turn them against each other. Crowded them in, where your animal instinct is overriding your human mind intellectual state. So therefore, it ain't the devil that we're born in. We're born with an animal instinct. But once you know the difference between your thoughts of animals and you controlling it with your mind, think the whole soul separated from the body idea came from, you realize that, okay, that's just my animal instinct talking to me. I want to do that. But talking about it and giving your plan to the masses is not going to further your agenda. They're just going to stop you. That's why Farrakhan has not been able to succeed. They're one of the richest nations because they got other countries to believe in them, but he's not doing the right thing with the money because the people are praising Arab, you know what I'm saying, religion.
My mind is
Islam
going.
an Arab religion.
My head is going. My mind is going numb with all
It's
this talk.
spinning. I know. What part did I lose you at?
I don't know. But What's your point? In short, what's your point?
We are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. We fell in love with our abusers, and we're still under this society. We got Zionists.
Who are the abusers?
Christians and Zionists just uplifting the people that's in charge, just trying to centralize the banks, to take all the money, to make us their slaves. Like the Sabbath Goys. They want 7 days a week Sabbath Goys. They come in, turn off the lights for them, open the refrigerator for them.
I've heard
what
of
I'm saying? They got slaves
on the Sabbath.
Sunday.
Yeah.
You know about a Sabbath Goy?
Yeah. Elvis was a Shabbos Goy.
So was
Obama was a Shabbos Goy. Because those guys, those are non-Jewish people who do work
Gentiles.
on the Sabbath for the Jewish people who want to bend the rules.
You are so smart, Hank. You are so smart. I'm coming up with a union for
That's not smart.
For the Sabbath Goy.
That's not smart. That's just knowledge. But thank you.
Well, I'm coming up for a union for them.
A union for the Goys?
Yeah.
Nice.
And we're going to raise the price because they got the money. And that's how, it's not hard. It's just thinking. It's just thinking. We got to outthink them.
No.
Yes, you keep your plans. Like my nation.
But you're
ruined.
crazy. You're very knowledgeable. You're very knowledgeable, but you're kooky, Frederick.
Why am I kooky?
Why are you kooky?
You don't believe that ancient Egyptians were black?
No.
You don't believe the original man was black?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying he was or wasn't. I'm just saying, no, I do not believe. I neither believe nor disbelieve.
You don't want to believe it?
It's not about want to believe.
That was the problem when they went into Egypt. All of the philosophers.
No, let's go back to you being kooky.
Aristotle's and Plato's, they went into Egypt.
You're 46 years old, right? You're 46 years old, and you served, quote unquote, in Iraq or somewhere, right?
I'm a veteran, Army veteran. Yes.
So you did Iraq, right?
No, I never went to Iraq.
Oh, where'd you go? If you don't mind my asking.
I stayed stateside.
Oh, so did you ever see any action, or were you in Fort Hood where they're shooting up people?
No. I was in Fort Bragg.
Nice.
But no, I didn't shoot up nobody.
I wouldn't.
North
I didn't.
Carolina.
You never got to shoot anybody, huh?
No, I wasn't infantry or artillery. I was a little smarter than that.
Had you already graduated? Had you already graduated from college?
No.
Okay, so you weren't like an officer necessarily.
No. I was just a sergeant.
Were you kooky back then too?
No, actually I wasn't. I got married. My ex-wife turned religious on me. And
as in religious as in Christian?
Yeah.
She turned Christian on you. So you guys were a couple of secular people?
No, she was like, apostolic.
Oh, so she was raised apostolic Christian, and then she got serious about it on you, all of a sudden.
Yeah, after we were 2 years married, she got serious on it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm talking about no radio, they listen to rap music.
Whoa.
I'm talking about no beer in the house, no cigarette smoking.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it got serious. She's taking my money and giving 10% of my $1,300 check to church. And I got 3 kids. I'm like, hey, that's another baby.
By her?
I'm paying more child support to church than I am to my other baby.
If you don't mind my asking, okay, so one by her and then a couple by others?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 3 different mothers, 3 different kids, or what? If you don't mind my asking.
Yes,
Maybe this is too
sir.
personal.
3 different kids. My youngest was 20 now.
So your last, is she the last woman? She's the last baby's mother?
My ex-wife was my child's mother, yeah.
Okay. And she drove you crazy.
I married her and tried to do it right then, but I'm like, why take the test again if you do everything right and they say you flunked it? Why study for the next test? The next woman can go religious on you, too, after you get married, and you can go to counseling and they say, yeah, she's right.
Did she already have kids,
it's a
too?
Conspiracy. Excuse me?
Did she already have kids too? I just curious.
No, we only got one.
Okay.
To this day.
And so she drove.
But she
you
got
crazy.
married 6 months later, and everything worked out.
For
I
her.
found God. Yeah.
Oh, everything worked
That's
out for
what
you.
took me on my journey.
Man.
Hey, it's all good. God takes you through things. You know, it's how you come out. As long as you don't have anger.
So why do
it's
you?
Okay. She showed,
Why are you such big fans of JLP and Hake? Such
Why
a
do I
big
what?
fan. Why are you such a big fan of JLP and Hake, if you don't mind my asking?
because y'all speak about returning to the Father. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. If you return to the one guy, the original, and your eyes are open, you won't be a victim of Stockholm Syndrome, you know?
Okay.
You do what you have to do to get your life in order and get everybody else's life in order. You ain't got to try to convince anybody or need validation for what you feel. You know it's real. If God gave man the intuition of how to build nations and pyramids, I mean, we don't need that knowledge from a book. It's in our heart.
And you're also a fan of Nick's stream on Fridays. Nick's stream.
Yes, I talk to Nick Stream all the time. I try to. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my little food for thought out there, to wake people up, because Israel, Ukraine, and the things that's going on today, it's real, and the war's gonna pop off. They need a fall of Babylon is why they push this degeneracy on y'all. The homosexuals, the transgenders, the Jews push it, and then when it all falls apart, then they say, "See, y'all need us to come in and help y'all."
I know. Interesting.
Y'all so broke. Let me lend you a hand. Oh, now you're for socialism? Let's call it Marxism. Y'all like this? Oh, it feels good, don't it? And then y'all be like, I got it. How? Failed for a long time ago. Yep. That's why the Hebrew Israelites are lost people and don't know who they are. They think Abraham really existed.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Frederick.
Okay.
Appreciate you, man.
Okay, Hank. You have a good day.
You too. Guys, we're at the top of the hour already. Do I owe you an apology for rambling so much? Because I rambled over there earlier. Was it rambling? But now it's time for some music. Let's listen to David Meece. More from that album, which I have not named yet. This track is entitled... What's the name of this track? Do you know, Hassan? The Alien. The Alien. Thank you, man. Enjoy. Oh, no. Yes, The Alien. Enjoy, and I'll be right back for hour 2. Hang tight, guys. So good. This is Hake's jazzercise music. Feels like I'm in 1986. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. This song about the border crisis. No, it's about Jesus. He was the alien. Jesus. Because though he was in the world, he was not of the world. I just tight-rolled my jeans, says Kevin Howe. I bet this guy singing has a mustache. No! I think he has always been clean-shaven. David Meece. This sounds like Elton John. M-E-E-C-E. Nice music, says Willie Powell. I agree. The keyboard player has data shades on, says Dan Clifton. Gee, says Point Fire. I disavow. It's Christian. I'm digging this, says Kilo Alpha 1. You have good taste, Kilo Alpha 1. Yeah, data shades. Is that black guy who had that silver curved comb over his eyes in Star Trek? Is that what you mean? Cool. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. I know I liked it. I'm streaming on rumble.com/The Hake Report. 28 watching now, I think. Not very active chat, but shout out to the Scots-Irish Marine. We accept you as American, as white enough. White enough to be hated, white enough to be loved. What, you know what I mean, I think. And a chat from Taking Care of Business. Oh. No, not yet. Not yet. I'll have to read that in a second. Because I'm blanking on what it was about. Oh, yeah. Now I remember. Taking Care of Business talks about Alec Baldwin. He got one or two counts, I heard, of manslaughter charged against him. Just today. For back in 2021. Was it 2021? Over like almost a year and a half ago or something? He shot a woman on the set of the movie called Rust. A woman who was a cinematographer. Helena Hutchins or something like that. It went through her and hurt another guy, too, standing behind her. Whew. And it was supposed to be a prop gun. It was a prop gun, but somehow it had a live round in it. The crew, some of them were like going around shooting Coke cans on their break, and they apparently accidentally left a live round in there. Reminiscent of that Bruce Lee's kid who got shot with a live round. Shaking my head. The counts are the absolute minimum you can get for manslaughter, 18 to 60 months max, and 5 years only because of the firearm enhancement. They went very soft on Alec Baldwin. Gee, I wonder why. He won't see a day in prison, guaranteed, says Taking Care of Business. The only thing I have against Alec Baldwin is his claiming, and I don't know, that he didn't pull the trigger. I'm like, come on, man. You don't have to lie, but maybe he's not lying. But the investigators say there's no way he didn't pull the trigger because it doesn't just go off by itself. Right? And you know those Hollywood people, especially the older ones, they have their finger on the trigger. There's no need for that. And in fact, it's unrealistic. You're not supposed to have your finger on the trigger. You get a jump scare. Oh, I fired my weapon. Always makes me nervous looking at these TV shows and movies with the finger on the trigger. Ridiculous. And Alec Baldwin, you know he puts his finger on the trigger. No, I don't know. I'm speculating. Here I am gossiping, just like the flat earthers and the vaxx people and the moon landing people. We're all that way. So when I pick on you flat earthers whom I love, I'm no different. It's just that you're showing your bias. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Yes, I do, Tennis Shoe. That is true gun violence. Hake is a triggered discipline nerd. Yeah. And I don't even, well, I won't get into that. Shaking my head. But I wonder if there's going to be charges for the woman who was the armorer. You know? Super chat from Lin Yen Chin over there on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Thanks, taking care of business, Mayor. Lin Yen Chin states, an Arab, which some of the blacks call Arab, and some other Americans, an Arab can be defined as a member of a Semitic people, meaning descending from Shem, purportedly. Shem, as in Shem, Ham, and Japheth, sons of Noah. Inhabiting much of the Middle East and North Africa. And that is a quote from Google, shared by Lin Yen Chin. And we disavow Google. Use something else, I guess, if you so please. Lord Goodhair, they are not white, even though they are Caucasoid. Real white people are innovative, central northern European peoples. I agree, man. I don't even accept Irish as white. Even though they're quite white, but they're Catholic. The heck? And they fight. They're criminals. The slaves. Or indentured servants. We don't accept the Irish. I'm part Irish, so I'm not all white. I'm part POC. Nah, and I don't even accept the Italians as white. Some of them are. We disavow in Yinchin. But yeah, it wasn't based. Who's that guy who's been on my show? Richard Spencer. Wasn't he mad at Trump for wanting to bomb Iran's, which they're more white perhaps than the rest of the Arabs. Iran's, because, I don't know, Iran's like historical things. Easy, Hake, easy, Hake. I think that sometimes they're white enough to be hated. Okay, so if you're white enough to be hated, even some Jewish people get smeared when they do something like say the N-word. Some of those Jewish atheists like Bill Maher, he said the N-word. Or that guy who should have his team still, the Clippers owner, Donald Sterling, white enough to be hated. So when they're attacked for being white, like it's an attack on whites, even though they're not normal whites. We get blamed for the stuff that the not normal whites do. Anyway, sometimes we normal whites don't act so normal. Not white on the inside. Not Christian. Okay, all right, enough of that. You guys know my positions. Before I get back to calls, I do want to say, pray for Derek Chauvin, the former officer. God's will be done. Let him suffer with dignity. The headline, I have a few headlines to read for you from Fox News. Reported January 18th, Derek Chauvin appeals his conviction in the Georgia-Florida murder. That's George Floyd. I got that from Earl from Michigan. May he rest in peace if he is resting. And we wish him well regardless. Murder with an asterisk. He's arguing that the trial was not fair, and it wasn't. I say it wasn't, and I am right. About this topic, I'm sure. This is an article by Greg Norman. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was sentenced to 22 and a half years for the May 2020 murder, quote unquote, with an asterisk, I say, of Georgia, Florida, George Floyd. Shaking my head. NPR, Derek Chauvin's lawyer asks the Minnesota appeals court to toss his murder convictions. That's an article by one Rachel Treisman. the ex-officer was sentenced. You know, he married an Asian woman. How can he be racist? He's not racist. He married an Asian woman. And even those Asians are not loyal. They look at him, man. He's roughly my age, maybe a little older, maybe a little bit younger than FREDERICK. And he was pretty skinny, by the way. He didn't have much weight on him, and crazy. Everybody was all traumatized. Even I was like a little, I'm so soft-hearted. People magazine. Derek Chauvin's attorney asked Minnesota appeals court to avoid the guilty verdict in the George Floyd's killing. No, he got himself overdosed, and perhaps the arrest didn't help, but the arrest was necessary. What, they're just supposed to ignore him trying to pass a fake 20 twice and the shop owner calling the cops on him? Was the shop owner racist too? Give me a break. And first of all, there's no evidence of racism, period. No such thing as racism. But there's no evidence that Derek Chauvin had any malice. They said, oh, he might have worked together with him. They worked in the same security guard place back in the day or something. So they knew each other. Essence magazine. Is that a black magazine? Melissa Noel. Chauvin's lawyer, William Mohrman, Mohrman, said these convictions against his client should be overturned because legal errors prevented him from having a fair trial. I'll say. I mentioned this on the JLP show that I would cover this, and he's all, is he white? Jesse Lee. I'm on his network. I don't spit in his studio, not on purpose. And I said, yes, he is white. He's not going to get out. And Asmodor, our resident historian, covering present day history too, talked about how this federal convictions on top of the state convictions, the state is corrupt, the feds are even more corrupt, I say. Trying to say he violated civil rights. I think he had to plead guilty for that for some reason. I forget. For a plea deal for less harsh of a sentence. But they're just burying him on multiple levels. So even if he were to get this state conviction overturned, he still has the Muslim one. I'm reading about the Muslim guy who's like the attorney general. Excuse me. He even has the federal kangaroo court to deal with. What a joke. Having Keith Ellison, Antifa supporting black anti-Christian Muslim Keith Ellison, SJW, male Democrat. How embarrassing. It's enough for me to spit in itself. Two. Ow. I never learn. Murder. You guys know what I mean by kangaroo court? They arrest the guy. He's like, put me on the ground. And he puts him on the ground. I can't breathe. He said I couldn't breathe right as he got on the ground. Shaking my head. A lot of injustice going on, and they're not the only ones who are, he's not the only one, he's not the first, and he won't be the last. So many of these guys. The jogger, remember that jogger case in Georgia? 3 men. Life sentences for a couple of them. Did that hurt your finger? LOL. Yes, it hurt my finger. Anyway, let me get to some calls. Rick in Maine is on the line. He wants to talk about the China virus vax. I better tread lightly. Rick in Maine, how are you doing?
All right. How you
came
doing
in loud.
James?
I'm doing fine, man. Thank you.
All right. I sent Nick three articles verifying that that statement that you guys are talking about, you and Hassan. Hello, Hassan. About that stuff being an absolute
Piercing.
problem causing heart attacks after that started.
Oh.
Because the numbers of heart attacks increased considerably after that stuff was released to the general public and started killing people.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact. There's three articles that I sent to Nick to prove it.
Okay. I don't know. And I of course disavow for the sake of my channel, but appreciate you sending those tips, man.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily believe everything that you read in articles, though. And
no, I mean,
I'm not saying that you should go ahead and
the source.
Yeah, consider the source, and yeah, people are sometimes too quick to believe different things.
True.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, my friend.
Yeah.
All righty, I just wanted to get in there and say my piece on that.
Well,
so
whether you
have a good one. Thanks for the time.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Take care. Bye. Whether you got the vax or not, Hake is playing dumb just to keep his channel. I'm not playing dumb. I am dumb because I don't know, and nor do I really care. Nick says the first article here does not say the vax did it. They're just correlating it with a spike in heart disease during the epidemic. And the epidemic, of course, there's going to be a spike because with the epidemic, it was not the epidemic, it was the overreaction to it. So it may not have been the vax, it may have been the COVID-10, meaning the 10 pounds that a lot of people gained because they were not outdoors, they were not exercising. Just to be accurate, Nick says. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I don't know, and it's not my thing. I don't really care. I care about the people who got hurt, of course. That was the one from cedarsinai.org, says Nick. Yeah, and they scared people, and the women got scared and pushed the scare on the kids, and some of the males, grown adult males, got scared and angry. The Black Lives Matter thing was raising people's blood pressure, so of course people are going to have heart attacks. A lot more stress. So, and then we had to replace a good president with a scumbag. Sorry, people. Or a scumbag administration. Well, Trump's administration was scumbag administration too, except for Trump himself. I don't consider Trump a scumbag. Sorry, kids. But anyway, that's my take. A lot of untold truth out there. I will grant you that. That's for sure. Art in Ohio on the line. How you doing, Art? Thanks for calling and holding. What is up?
Hey, bring your face here. Let me smell your breath. You've been dipping in my art wisers.
I've been dipping my finger and taking some beer. I like beer. That's a Supreme Court justice who allegedly raped a bunch of people, and he's like this soft, nicey nice guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you said something about Derek Chauvin. Which one was Derek Chauvin again?
Derek Chauvin had the knee on the neck of Georgia, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the who was the one dude who was designing, going in the house, designing and redecorating houses for Martha Stewart, and decided he wanted to run down the street with boots on after he got done. He wanted to go jogging or whatnot after he got done decorating.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah. I don't know why they was messing with that house designer or whatnot.
Yeah.
But so you said you're free your king Derek Chauvin because he was wrongly convicted for the Georgia, Georgia, Florida?
Yep. Yeah.
So what evidence do you have to substantiate that he was unfairly convicted in the courts.
Oh, I see your angle. Because they seem to be relying on the sketchy notion that the pressure from that those cops put on his body was restricting his airflow, and that killed him. And I'm leery at that notion, even though the government and a coroner or two may have asserted that claim. That's a sketchy claim. Common sense would say, I don't have evidence, okay, but I have some common sense, I think, would say it's more likely he was overdosing, and yeah, that may not have helped, but he asked to be put down there. It's not like these cops were violating protocol, really. I know that there's a cop who made the claim, or a police use of force expert who made the claim, no training that I said would be doing that. But those seem like biased people to me. It's very politically motivated. In many ways, it was obviously politically motivated. And it's funny. It's funny that...
Well,
go ahead.
I wouldn't say that you're wrong about it, but I wouldn't say that you're right. I just feel like you need more evidence and whatnot to substantiate that or whatnot. But
I don't need evidence. Because you don't need evidence to prove innocence. Because in America, we're supposed to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty.
Oh, okay, but
and they didn't provide evidence to prove that he was guilty. Not sufficient for Hake, anyway. So I don't need evidence to say he was convicted. I mean, I don't need evidence to say he was wrongly convicted. They need evidence to show me that he was rightfully convicted.
Yeah.
And they won't. They can't give that because we all saw on camera he wasn't doing anything to Georgia, Florida.
Well, okay, I would almost agree with you in certain things.
Right.
The fact that you would say that you would be innocent to proven guilty, but once I make a statement saying of your guilt, proving the evidence that you are guilty, you need to come back and assert your innocence or whatnot until we come to a head to who's right in their arguments, whether on the offense or the defense. It should be a fair assertion of evidence on the offense and the defense, and it's up to us to figure out which side has the most evidence and the most valuable evidence. And then something else that you said or whatnot, even with the knee on the neck or in the autopsy, I think it was two different examiners. One said one thing, and then one examiner said that he had enough fentanyl in there or whatnot, and that the fentanyl is what killed him, but everybody else just kept blowing past that, like that coroner didn't say what he said.
Right.
But I would like to go back to was that something Rick said from Maine or whatnot with those articles or whatnot. You say that you don't really care about I understand that, you keeping your channel going. I respect that and understand that. I'm just trying to figure out if there, because I understand and see what you're doing. You're not trying to basically get yourself cut off by, being too much.
And on top of it, the truth matters to me, but I'm not into seeking out the knowledge on that topic because I've already made up my mind about how much I care about the vax and about whether I support people getting it or whether I support people being forced to get it or not. So I'm done with that topic. I love talking about it with you guys. But that's what I mean by I don't care. I don't like when people are harmed by it, and I don't like when people are forced to get it, of course. And I don't like when people who don't need to be getting it are getting it, according to some experts or whatever. And according to common sense, right? College students, come on. Or military people, come on. So stuff like that.
All right. So you only care about talking about liberal whites and liberal blacks, though. That's what you want to focus more your show on. You care more about that, but you don't care about people might be being harmed by the vaccine.
if I had proof that that it definitely was happening, I would be saying it. I think as long as YouTube allowed such content. But also, I care more about the carefulness of us with what we believe. Us meaning me and you and the listeners. JLP had a segment in his opening monologue today that the Bible says, "Be careful what you believe," and a lot of times, even us, the good guys, believe stuff that's not true, and we want to call to be perfect, and not believe stuff that isn't true.
Okay, so you said
so that's more important to me than some silly vaccine argument itself. If you don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So you saying if YouTube allows you to or whatnot, and that's part of my opening statement or opening argument that I would like to present to the Hake jury and the Hake court or whatnot is that if YouTube is low key or not low key, or they're banning you or whatnot, not even banning you or not letting you have freedom of speech, then how do you expect evidence to be able to come out as far as whether the vaccine or whatnot was good or bad, or truthful evidence will come out if you have YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, any other these other platforms that's banning people that are putting out the evidence or whatnot? You're not going to get the right evidence.
That's true. I totally agree with you that unpopular or non-establishment evidence is gonna be suppressed, for sure.
Okay, and just like I was saying in my opening statement too, is that if I lay out an argument on my offense, you should lay out your argument to go again. If I'm the offense and you're the defense, my opening argument is that okay, this has caused this and this has caused that. Your defense should be, well, no, it doesn't cause this because we have numbers and this and this and this and this and that proves that it ain't that. So if you banning me, that only shows me that what I'm saying is right. Because if not, the truth don't need no argument or whatnot. The truth is gonna stand when the world's on fire. So that's gonna be some of the evidence that I would need to know that there would be some suspicions about, or my claims might be valid if you don't want to have a logical debation about what I feel and what I think is going on with the vaccine.
But people aren't always banned for being right. People are banned for being independent. And independent is not always right. Independent is just not unapproved. So both the wrong and the right get banned in this evil world. If you understand what I'm saying. You may be you're on the right side, and so that adds to your liability to get banned, or it adds to your chances of getting banned because you're on the right side. You're on the right track, if you will.
Well, yeah, okay, I might be on the right track, but okay, if you getting paid and you got a position or whatnot, you over the CDC, and little old Art just a regular old working citizen and whatnot, and I'm having allegedly all these ideas or whatnot that this might be going on. As an American citizen, it's your job, and you get paid to do this research and to, as American citizens, making me feel comfortable. You was comfortable enough to put the vaccine out and say that, we don't know too much about the vaccine or whatnot, and COVID is doing this and COVID. You was good enough to put it out, but you ain't good enough to answer questions about. So I kind of don't understand what you're saying, because you tell them you kind of feel like you somewhat gaslighting me. What I'm seeing is a lot of this stuff is not alleged information or might be made up information, but you making me feel crazy for thinking that or knowing that a lot of this stuff is wrong that is going on with the vaccine, which I understand that you can only say but so much to keep your platform going or whatnot, but I kind of feel like you straddling the fence. You playing, you catching and hitting at the same time.
But I'm not even saying that what you're saying is untrue. It's just unverified. In some cases, there's no way to even know.
You're saying it's unverified, but and I get what you're saying, though. You're saying it's unverified, but that can be your opinion, because in my opinion, or maybe in the facts that I know, it might not be unverified. In your opinion, you might say, "Oh, I need more evidence," but in my opinion, the facts is I have all the enough evidence that I need to substantiate what I need to know about it. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like you saying it's unverified. You kind of saying that we conspiracy theorists. Basically. Yeah, that's that. But yeah, that's that. Something that's.
But I'm not gaslighting you just because I don't believe. I'm not. You guys aren't going to force me to believe something that I don't believe.
Well, no. I'm saying no. When I'm saying about the gaslighting.
Yeah.
Just saying as far as you saying that. You need more. You need more evidence or whatnot.
But I don't. I don't necessarily agree with Joel about presenting evidence, because it's hard to even come up with evidence, because evidence is suppressed. It's hard to find, and in some cases, it's unprovable. It's just you guys can find some correlations, and those correlations may be true.
Yeah, plus you already seen, back there. I think when Trump was still in office, he was about to come out of office or whatnot, and you had them doctors or whatnot that was going out there quitting. Mm-hmm. Or was being censored and banned or whatnot, because they was coming out saying that they did independent studies.
Right.
I think it was a whole bunch of male doctors and like maybe one or two female doctors. It might even have been a female doctor that came out.
Right.
Or whatnot.
And some of those people turned out to be nuts.
It may be so, but see, the thing is, y'all, they're banning and they're not putting this stuff out to where you able to be like, well, hold up, the same doctor was saying this, or might have been agreeing with Artie Art from Ohio, baby. But you're not coming out here and saying like, oh, this doctor's a Looney Tune. This one was saying this about transgenders. So I can make my own analysis and be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't believe that doctor. They're basically just cutting them off and banning them without giving the American citizens the option whether we want to be like, well, hold up, this is a Looney Tune doctor. Or CNN. See, and I'll give you a prime example. I was able to, as an American citizen, had the honest choice whether I wanted to watch CNN or Fox. CNN made their bed with all the BS and the lying and all the stuff that they were doing, really gaslighting. And I had the option whether I wanted to watch their channel, because I don't want to be watching liars. You see what I'm saying? But if y'all not give me the option whether to be able to pick and choose whether I want to watch CNN or watch Fox, then that's how I'm feeling about the doctors, because y'all just trying to basically silence them and basically push them back without explaining why, or letting us see why you saying they're crazy, or the evidence they presenting we shouldn't believe. They're not giving us the option to do that.
I know.
Because they're automatically banning us.
Yep.
But go ahead and
that's the world. That's the world for you.
Sir.
So evil.
Yes, sir.
Such a mama thing. So controlling. Ridiculous.
So where did you hear? Have you heard anything about that Diamond and Silk, the ones that was going for Trump, the one who died? Have you heard anything about her?
I don't know the cause.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting to try to figure out what's up with that.
Yeah.
Let alone I want to know why I ain't heard nothing about that Hamlin thing or whatnot.
Damar Hamlin. I
want to know what's going on, because a lot of this stuff can be put to rest, just like with the police video footage or whatnot. You put the video footage out so the American people can know that what happened when it was a citizen that got killed or whatnot. Yeah.
But video footage is controversial because people don't judge video correctly. The layman, or the lay female,
liberals,
they look at a man doing a man's job and they're like, oh my gosh, that's a violation. When the cop is just doing his normal manly work. And
that's cool.
You know what I mean? They don't judge it properly. But anyway, I got your point for sure. They're suppressing the truth for sure.
But I still want, even if the liberal female is like that, I still want to see it, because I'm like this. I want to know and see, because I want to be able to be like, let them loonies talk. I know they liberal loony crazy heads or whatnot.
The other thing, Art, is that what business is it of ours? It's not. These things shouldn't be a national story, except that they're entertaining to talk about. But other than that, it's just a bunch of people who don't know the whole story putting their nose in other people's business when it's really that's up to the community, the local cops and the local men of that town to deal with what was right or what was wrong in those situations. But no, these things become a national story. And that's why I said with this Chauvin trial, and we're going along, I'm sorry, I'm going along with Art, but this is kind of interesting. With the Chauvin trial, the more eyes that were on it, the less transparent and the less I trusted it, because the more eyes that were on it, the more so-called sunlight of the media coverage, that was not light, that was darkness, because it was tinted against the white cop. So
and just like how you feel about, I'm getting off of this. Just how I feel about the DeMar Hamlin, the George Floyd, the MLK. You got a lot of idol worship going on, and all of it is the steal money behind the American people's back. God bless you. I'll catch you later, Hake, and we still rolling with Trump.
Indeed. Thank you, Art. Appreciate you. Take care.
Yep.
Bye. Oops. He said that he's still rolling with Trump. Get that, anti-vaxxers. I love you. Very sympathetic to your cause. But not entirely on board with you. But some of the people who are critical of the, or talking about what's going on with the vax, or what may be going on with the vax, have turned on Trump over it. That's not a reason to turn on Trump. Be like Art. Be faithful. Loyal. That's my take. Man. I heard that New Zealand lady is retiring or resigning. Is that mean? Celebrating in the downfall of Jacinda Ardern, another horsey-faced, mildly attractive young lady, not that young anymore, has aged since she was elected in 2017 at the tender age of 37 years old, gave birth in office. What a disgrace. I bashed her hard. I bashed her metaphysically, of course. Metaphorically, of course. And I don't have any pictures of her. You can, like, search for a picture of her, I guess. But don't crash the program. You don't have to. She just has a horsey face. I'll try to give her face. I can't even do it. But she got a mouthful of teeth. And it's mildly attractive, right? We love people with mouthfuls of teeth. Jacinda Ardern, Jacinda, new word, Ardern, Ardern, New Zealand Prime Minister. And she's from the Labour Party, Labour Party, meaning communist, socialist, globo homo. She came across my consciousness when the news footage covered her wearing that, what was that thing? The hijab among the Muslims and hugging the Muslims after the Christchurch mosque mass shooting by the eco-fascist guy, Brenton Tarrant, who inspired the guy who shot up the El Paso Walmart, I think. He shot up a bunch of Mexicans in the Walmart. Eco-fascist because this Australian guy, I think he was Australian, Brenton Tarrant, went into the Christchurch. Christchurch, New Zealand, has mosques. Mosques are for Muslims. Christchurch, New Zealand, is for Christians. What the heck? I'm chuckling because there she is. Look at that mouthful of teeth. Nice smile. Evil inside. Looks sort of goofy. A little bit. Unmarried. I think she's maybe fiancés with her boyfriend. Live-in boyfriend. The boyfriend living with her. Having a baby out of wedlock. And I don't fault her entirely for it. I felt the brainwashing, I guess. But she fell for that. She was a lapsed Mormon. Those Mormons in their young age have a rumspringa. That's when they go out. Is that Mormons or is that maybe I'm confusing them with the the Amish. Oh, never mind. I said during Hake News that she had she's still on her rumspringa, trying to be a female leader, prime minister, politician, communist, dumb woman, evil. Maybe smarter than Hake intellectually, but nasty woman. Talented, maybe. Gave birth in office. And now she can't take the heat. She's resigning. Well, good for her. And she's going to be replaced by another labor leader, so-called leader. What's happened to all these white countries? She kissed up to the Muslims after the Brenton Tarrant guy was like, you know, all these Muslims are having so many babies. Just like in El Paso, the Mexicans are having a bunch of babies, Hispanics, Latinos are having a bunch of babies polluting the earth or causing, you know, whatever. Overpopulation. They're overpopulation believers, eco-fascists, because they care about ecology. And this dumb woman went after the guns over it or something like that. I forget. Brenton Tarrant wanted to invite more attacks on whites by doing an attack on the POCs and the Muslims, and wake the whites up to the attack on the whites by inviting more attack on the whites. So misguided, so evil. She's resigning. I call them horsey face because they got these teeth. Horses have person-like teeth. And because human beings and horses are meant to eat vegetables. But we have incisors too, canines. Don't we have canines? So we eat a little bit of meat as well. Not too much, not too little. Remove that picture, says Rui Duarte de Andrade Andao. I don't know how to pronounce your name, man, but thank you. Mildly attractive. There she is. Look at that smile. I've covered her a number of times. Liberal. After I bashed her one time, I got this guy from New Zealand who interviewed me for like 2 or 3 hours at night and premiered it on his channel. He chided me for being racist. Yeah. What a joke. Women leaders. Here's another woman leader. KJP. Karine Jean-Pierre. Clip 14. This is from Greg Price 11. Greg_Price 11 on Twitter. Jean-Pierre says, I'm going to refer you to the DOJ. Reporter says, I'm simply asking you to comment on the person you work for, meaning Sleepy Joe Biden, because she's the White House communications something. Secretary, I don't know. I just commented, we're moving on. I already answered your question, reporter. You really didn't. Jean-Pierre, that's your opinion. Well, some of these things are a matter of fact. This is a minute 14 clip. More obnoxious woman talking clip from the Hake. Listen to this.
Thank you, Karine. Yes. I want to reference an interview that President Biden did
Look at that face.
in September with 60 Minutes. And in that interview, he chided former President
Look at
Trump
that attitude.
for having in his possession classified documents. He called it irresponsible.
Too much makeup.
First of all, do you think it was proper for President Biden to comment on an ongoing DOJ investigation?
So I'm going to say this, and going to keep it really short today, as it relates to this particular issue, as it relates to an ongoing legal matter. I'm going to refer you to Department of Justice with that specific, as it relates to anything that you want to ask of us about this legal matter. I would refer you to the White House Counsel office. I'm going to leave it there. Not going to go into further.
Gesturing like, hey,
and I just commented. We're moving on.
Smile.
Go ahead.
Ooh, she pointed.
No, go ahead.
Ooh, she pointed.
Go ahead.
You're not supposed to point.
Well, I did.
No, you didn't.
Well, it's your opinion. It's your opinion. It's your opinion. That is your opinion. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Annoying. Is it annoying for Hake to be talking over the clip too much? Maybe. Did I talk over it too much? Relax, Hake. Oh, well, says CSS Element. It's not CS Element, Nick Stream. I was hearing Nicolas. Maybe English, maybe ESL guy. Nah. He was calling CSS element CS element. What the heck? What the heck? Keeping it really short. Normally, this lady points with her fake politician point. Stupid! Sorry, kids. I can't. I gotta control myself. Sorry. This is a Christian show. Shout out to Alex Jones. Oh, sorry. I get too animated. I need more testosterone. Oh, man. So that's phony Karine Jean-Pierre. And that whole story was about Sleepy Joe Biden pretending his fake outrage over Trump having classified documents. People say I use my Yoda voice when I'm trying to mock classified documents. Oh, dear. Please. You know who else is smart? I've been holding on to this clip for too long. Clip 16. This is from Still Gray. Cackling Kamala Harris. Still Gray, who is a journalist on Twitter. Ian Miles Cheong says, serious question. Is there a dumber person than Kamala Harris? Making statements like this should be disqualifying. It's a 19-second clip. Enjoy. Here it is.
I convened, and I've convened now at least 3 times, a group that has their acronym, CARICOM. It is the Caribbean nations, island nations. In the Western Hemisphere, that is where the Caribbean is, we are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors.
Oh, man. She explains things almost as annoyingly as Hake. Not a bad Yoda voice, Hake. She has a bit too much vocal fry, though. Cackling Kamala Harris. Take some brain force so you can fight against the Chi-Coms taking over Hollywood, Hake. These women. Very trustworthy government we have right now. But Sleepy Joe Biden has been in forever, and he's purportedly a male, but he's a male Democrat. And nowadays, if you're a male and a Democrat, you're a woman. It's a fact. Let me get to Brian in North Carolina on the line. Brian, thanks for holding. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Hake. How are you?
Hey, fine, thank you.
Amazing. I know you're short on time, so I'll try to be quick.
Cool.
I agree with you about the Derek Chauvin being wrongfully convicted. And it's for the same reason you said it, which was the media was covering it.
Yeah.
And when the media started covering it, it pretty much kind of led to a coercion of white folks. Everybody became afraid that. Well, I believe, I'm speculating.
Okay.
But I believe that they became afraid that if they didn't do what the masses who were able to see what was going on wanted, then it would be bad for them.
Yeah. Yeah. It incited. It was incitement.
Exactly.
Yep.
And they showed it for a reason, because they know that it's going to make people angry.
Right.
And what makes it worse is, like, this was around the time where I really started to see how everything really is backwards in the world today, because it's pretty evident that he wasn't murdered.
Right.
It's like so many things that went on in what was seen that show that he was not murdered. And if he was killed by anybody, it was himself.
Yeah.
But people dismiss that, you know?
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to make comment on is Frederick talking about he didn't do infantry or artillery. He's smarter than that. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but
right.
He can't be that smart. He could not be that smart because he has 3 different baby mothers.
Very good
remedial.
point. He means academic smart, which is not
whatever.
And I don't even know if he's academic smart. He does.
It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. He has a certain smartness to him, but he is crazy.
Nah, he's wild, man.
Yeah.
I wish him well, though. But
yeah,
hey,
me too.
I wouldn't be going around saying I'm smart, though, Frederick.
He's definitely not wrong about everything. But one of the most basic things seems to be missing. And I think that one of those basic things is maybe humility, like a seriousness. He doesn't come off as serious. Not to be bashing him behind his back when he can't defend himself, but just trying to help him. That's what I mean by leveling these criticisms.
It's a really, to me, Hake, Frederick, I see Frederick a lot when I'm out and about. And I know a lot of Frederick.
That type of guy. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really,
is
and
it
I
a
don't
black?
know if
Is it a
it's
black
across the
thing?
board.
Is it like a pride and knowledge?
It is, man. It's. I don't know. It's the same thing. And all respect to Art, but it's kind of the same thing. You know, Art calls in and he wants to try to critique and control your show or say something about how you're doing something, but it's not his.
Oh.
It's ego. Black people have I know what's wrong with the blacks. It's this massive ego that they got from their mamas.
Yeah.
It's huge, man. And it makes them think that they know best. Meaning that there's no other way. There's no better. It's just what they know.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that, man.
Yeah, it's a mess. But Frederick, I wish you well, man. And Art, I like listening to Art talk about people because he talks about people like he's talking to them.
Right. I like that too. It's pretty fun.
Are
you part white, Brian? I forget.
I don't know, man.
Oh, you don't even know. You're black, but you definitely at least part black, but you don't know.
Well, I could tell you this. I've seen a lot of family photos. My grandmother's side of the family, my great grandfather was a white man.
Okay, so you are part white. What percentage is that? Was he Irish? That doesn't count, man.
I'll
I'm kidding.
I'll take what I can get.
A lot of those Irish people, they mixed. Did you know Cassius Clay? Cassius Clay has some fighting Irish in him. That's Muhammad Ali. Yeah, it's true. It was an open-minded Irish farmer, I heard. If I remember reading it correctly in The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood, JLP's book, I thought I heard that one of his ancestors was an open-minded Irish farmer who married a black woman. It wasn't a lot of these blacks who are mixed this because, my ancestors were raped. Well, your ancestors were also rapists, and a whole blacks are committing a lot of rape. Anyway, I'm going off.
I think we're Anglo-Saxon, though. That's where we come from.
Okay, nice. Right on.
I don't even know much about that, but yeah, I look black.
Yeah.
I have good hair, though. Not as good as yours.
Okay.
Obviously. You got, like, epic hair. I was just looking at your hair the other day. It looks like superhero hair.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I've started combing it to the side a little bit again. It's a little thin, but somebody was like, a couple of people in the JLP Hake news chat, JLP's show, were like, Hake got his hair cut by a black barber, and then facepalm. Because my hair is still, like, looking wet, and it doesn't look right, and, you know.
We style our hair the same, or similarly.
Nice.
It's nice. I like your style. Also,
right
I was gonna say your music is really good riding music.
Nice. Right on. Are you a trucker too?
No.
Okay.
I'm an HVAC technician.
Okay. Well, don't dox yourself.
I don't. What does that mean?
Give out personal information that people could use to like call your job and try to get you fired and different things like that, or go after you. Yeah. Or swat you or whatever. Anyway, Brian.
I don't think I'd give it. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's good to keep some level of privacy on and anonymity on the internet for sure. Take care, man.
You as well.
All right. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. Rick in Hampton, Virginia. I cannot get to you. Hold on, not yet. A couple of super chats. Hoosier Bear 2391 says, "Hey Hake, this isn't off topic, but is that a TV or a painting of some kind in the background?" It's a TV. Oops, I touched it. I've always wondered. And it's a TV and it's a photograph of from a building of LA. Danimal says, Hake, when is the next debate? Lib crushing event. Shall be announced soon, maybe soon. And guys, this has been the Hake Report. We Can Overcome It All by David Meece. Enjoy and adios, America. Bye, Rick. I couldn't get to you. He wanted to talk about Biden classified documents. Maybe I should have let you start playing it earlier. Oh, well, guys. Bye.